Hey, welcome back to another episode of Camping Camera. Today is Q&A day. Hey, welcome back everyone. Since we started building the Camp Easy Teardrop, we've been getting a lot of questions about the build, and I find that some of the questions I've been getting pretty frequent. So today I wanted to do a top 10 question list, your questions about the Camp Easy Teardrop. Why would I be building a tiny teardrop when I have a full-size travel trailer? So about 3 years ago, me and one of my good buddies, Larry Coffey from LD Coffee Pics, we were talking about some of the places that we like to take photographs. We're both hobby photographers and like to do landscape photography mostly. And some of the places that we like to shoot are kind of off the beaten path and not necessarily places that I would want to pull a full-size travel trailer. He brought up the idea of building a teardrop, and the more I thought about it, the more sense it would make to be able to hook that behind an SUV, and be able to pull back on those twisty, winding mountain roads. Worst come to worst, I get in a spot where I can't hardly get turned around. I can just unhook the camper, push it around by hand, and rehook it back up. So I don't plan on getting rid of my full-size camper. I do like to use it. I actually have a couple vacations planned in it for this year. But there are so many things I think I'll get benefit out of in being able to use a teardrop. How did I come up with the name Camp Easy, especially the model number 5945? I came up with the name Camp Easy 5945 because I have a full-size travel trailer that I really enjoy taking camping, but there's a lot of setup involved, from stabilizer jacks to sewer hoses to water hookups, electric hookups, a weight distribution hitch. Just there's so much involved with setting up a camper that for me personally, it's not practical to set it up for one night and tear it down the next morning and hook back up to it and take off to another destination. I wanted camping to be easy, so I came up with the name Camp Easy for my teardrop. Hopefully I can pull into a spot, maybe not even unhook from the vehicle, grab a few hours of sleep, be back on the road the next morning with minimal fuss. 5945 comes from the camper being 5 foot wide, 9 foot long, and 4.5 foot tall. So just how long have I been building the Camp Easy, and when will it be finished? So although I've been working on the camper for about 3 years, I've taken several month periods that I didn't work on it at all. Be doing other things, working on other projects. Nose to tail, if I would have compressed all of the actual building time together, it's probably taken me about 9 or 10 months. When will I have it finished? Probably early spring, late winter. I could probably have it knocked out in another couple, 3 weeks. But it's winter time, and if I get it done, I'm not personally wanting to take it out in 10-degree weather. There are probably those that would. I'm not one of them. So I'm just going to take my time and enjoy the rest of the build, and hopefully, early mid-March, it'll be ready to roll. Did I design the Camp Easy myself, or did I use commercially available blueprints? Yes, I did design the camper myself. I like to build things. I have a workshop. I've built radio-controlled airplanes over years, sometimes from plans, sometimes from my own blueprints, and I just enjoy that aspect of a project. So I wanted to design a camper that fit my personal needs and go from there. What I ended up doing is I got on eBay. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but I bought a CAD program. I think it's called Design CAD. It's a very, I'm sure, amateur CAD program. It was about $15. I bought this off of eBay, got it home, learned how to use it, and it was a pretty easy program to use. I'm just doing 2D drawings in there, but I basically sat in the floor of my workshop, took a tape measure, and measured from the floor to how much headspace that I thought I'd be comfortable with if I was sitting in the teardrop. I laid down and I figured how much, or measured how much, space I wanted above my head and below my feet, and added that together for the length. The width, I'm a pretty good sized guy, so I knew I wanted at least a 5 foot wide camper. But I took all the critical dimensions that I thought would be important to me, and I basically drew those in boxes, and I laid those boxes on top of each other, beside each other, whatnot in the CAD program. And then I just basically drew an aesthetically pleasing curve around it. Now, aesthetically pleasing is aesthetically pleasing to me, maybe not be so much to somebody else. But I took the critical conventions and I basically just drew a curve around it. In the space that was left, I designed a kitchen in there, and that's pretty much it. Where did I get the frame to start the build on? So some time ago, I bought a utility trailer, 6.5 by 12 flatbed utility trailer off of a local trailer builder. It's kind of a small operation, but the fella takes a lot of pride in his work. So he came to mind whenever I needed a frame for my teardrop. I pretty much just called him up, said, hey, I need a 5 by 8 frame for a teardrop camper that I'm going to build. It needs to be strong and lightweight. And here are the critical dimensions. Here are some design features that I wanted incorporated into it, like a full wraparound tongue. I wanted flush cross members, flush with the top of the side rails of the camper frame. Basically wanted it welded up, painted, and setting on the axle. And he gave me a really good price. Actually, it was about the same price as buying one of those bolt together Harbor Freight frames. So I went and picked it up and started the build off that. I couldn't be happier with it. He just did a fantastic job. Where did I get the aluminum skin? So I ended up looking within about an hour and a half driving radius of my house at local sign shops. And I ended up finding that all the sign shops had the same brand of metal they were selling. Evidently, the distribution network for this company must just cover my whole area. The company's name is Risco, Wrisco, and that's where I got the 5 foot by 10 foot sheets of 40 thousandths painted aluminum. I'm really impressed with the product. I really like it. It came with a nice protective film on one side. And there are probably a lot of other good manufacturers out there, but that's who was supplying my distribution network here, and pretty happy with it. Where did I source my aluminum trim? So the most frequently asked question I get is, where did you find the aluminum trim to go around the edges and whatnot of your camper? I'm kind of surprised that that's the most frequently asked question, but I probably get asked that 2 or 3 times a week. I ended up getting this from a company called Vintage Technologies. Now, I'm not affiliated with Vintage Technologies. I order from them and get the same price as everybody else does. But their trim has been really good, been easy to use, been pretty flexible. I was surprised by that, and that's a good thing going around the curves. Easy to deal with on the phone and quick shipping. So, and there are probably, other teardrop parts suppliers out there that are every bit as good. That's just who I've been using, and been a good source. So I'm not exactly building this camper in a huge warehouse. The entry door to my workshop right now is about 8 or 10 inches lower than the top of my camper. And everybody that comes up here to my workshop to visit me asks me the same thing. Are you going to be able to get this camper out? And the answer is yes. I will be able to get the camper out of the shop. Now, my plan, right now, it's sitting on the axle and wheels. I'm going to jack it up, pull the axle and wheels out from under it, which works anyway because I'm going to put some softer leaf springs under it. But when that is out, I'm going to jack the camper down onto some stands that I've made that have casters under it, and that's going to bring the overall height down about 12 inches. And I think that'll give me about 1.5 inch, 2 inch clearance between the top of the camper and the bottom of the door header. And I'm going to push it out on those casters. When I get it out there on the front of the building, I'll jack it back up and put the axle and wheels under it. Now, if I'm wrong and my measurements don't pan out, I'll just take a saw and cut the top of the door out. It's my workshop. I'll cut a hole in it if I have to get the camper out and then rebuild that part of the door later, but it will come out. Would I buy or build the doors if I had to do it all over again? So I remember reading several months ago on the internet, somebody made the statement that if you build your own doors, it's going to take forever, it's going to be a lot of work, and you're not going to save any money over buying doors already built. And I thought, there's no way. That knucklehead, they're completely off base. I can do this easy. I can do it inexpensive. They're going to look great. Well, let me just tell you, they were right. These doors took forever. They were a lot of work. I figured up the cost the other day. I don't know that I saved any money by doing it. Now, in retrospect, I'm glad I did build the doors because I love the way they look. I love that nice round door against the rounded edges of the teardrop camper. It fits with my original design, so I'm so happy that I did it. But if I had it to do it again, I don't know. I'd look awful hard at doing a prefab door. So, do I plan on building another one? So, even though certain parts of the build took longer than I thought and were a little more difficult, I have had a ball. I've just had such a wonderful time building this camper. And when this one finally goes out the door, I can't imagine having an empty space in my workshop without a teardrop camper sitting there under construction. So yeah, I'm probably going to build another teardrop. What size will it be? I'm not exactly sure. I will probably go ahead and go with the same height and length. Probably going to do a little something different on the width. And it'll probably be a little bit of a simpler version of the one that I built this time around. But yeah, I am looking forward to building another teardrop in the shop and making videos on that. But before I do that, and I'm not 100% yet, but I'm thinking about converting over a 6x12 cargo trailer I have. I got a cargo trailer sitting behind the house that I've been using over the years to haul things around. And I'm just not using it as much as I used to. So I got thinking the other day, maybe I ought to, build some cabinetry in that and a bed and, do some wiring and convert that over to a cargo trailer or a camper trailer. So I'm thinking about doing that before I launch into another teardrop project. Not 100% on that one yet. It's just something I've got on my mind. But yeah, I plan on, building campers and making YouTube videos, and really look forward to getting this camper out in the wild and meeting some of you guys at some teardrop gatherings and doing some videos where, I'm out sitting by the campfire. So, hey, I appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully these are, questions that'll help you in your own build. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate you hitting that button. And hey, until next time, take care, and we'll see you later.